Hi there. I know I mentioned in my previous post, and I wanted to kind of elaborate on the support required that I think everybody should, try to get prior to going in for surgery. This may be true of any surgery, but I think especially for spinal fusion or back surgery, it's really important just because of the unknown and the fear that you've been living with for a few years, or hopefully not a few years, a few months or a few weeks. It can be a very scary thing, and one of the things that really has helped me, like I said in my previous post, was that reaching out to friends and family, having my wife reach out to friends and family, and the amount of outpouring of caring and concern and texting and social media is actually a pretty beautiful thing for this, is that you really realize that people's thoughts are with you while they go through they're going through their everyday. They're taking a couple minutes to think about you, and at some point in a previous blog, I'll reach out and thank every single person that has sent kind wishes, asked to pray for me, sent their blessings, sent their good thoughts, whatever is in their spectrum of spirituality and helping. And then the offers of not only that kind of help, just thinking of me, but what can we do? How can we come over? How can we help you at the house? What errands do you need ran? Because you have to realize that whoever's supporting you is doing it all, especially if you have smaller children, or or you're a spouse, and even if you're alone, I think it's even more important than you have animals you need to take care of. One of the things that you need to be particularly cognizant of, and this is hard for me because I happen to be a bit of a control freak, is that you're going to have to let go of the noise. Let go of the fact that you're not going to have say in much of what's going on around you for a few weeks while you're healing. And I think that once you get to that realization, it'll be so much easier to concentrate on your recovery. So the support part, I think, comes in a few things. Number one is your immediate surroundings and your friends and family, and I touched briefly on that. We'll talk about the physical surroundings in a second. Your surgeon's office, and what kind of how should your surgeon be treating you? What kind of response should you be getting from your doctor as you lead into this? What for anybody is a big case, but even more when it's you, it's an even bigger deal. So what kind of support you should get there, and then after you get home from the hospital, what does that look like? And that's the point where the support from family and friends really comes in handy. So I will tell you that I made a list for my wife because I just couldn't get out of the house and get certain things. She's having to run to get meds for me, get everything that I need for the hospital. I talked previously about having mints. Your throat's going to be sore. Creating a packing list for what you want at the hospital. Think an overnight bag. You're obviously going to be one of those gowns for a long time, so think an overnight bag. Wisp toothbrushes. Right? Simple tasks are going to be challenging. So anything that you can do to make it easier, gum, iPad, iPhone, books, whatever can keep your mind off of the pain that you're going to be in, right? We all know that there's going to be wound pain. And while we're in the hospital, we want to get through that. Also, don't be afraid that if people want to visit you, that you schedule that time, that you bring them some times that they can come see you. So you don't have everybody seeing you at once, but if they want to, let them come. First of all, it's a really good thing that they do, and secondly, it'll make you feel better. My mood tends to lighten when I'm around people that are there and are concerned for me. So it's always great to have people come visit. So you get through the hospital stay, you're ready to go home. What do you need to have at home? I think at a minimum. I did some research and listened to blogs and going on websites. Really what I found was I was going to need a walker, right? I'm going to need a walker for a few weeks. I was going to need a cane after that. I'll need some Crocs if you don't have some, or some shoes that you can slip on very easily. I got some no-tie, some no lace tennis shoes. And then loose-fitting clothing all over the place, and then everything in your bed or around your bed that can make you comfortable. Whether that's a television, movies, iPad, stuff that you can use to help your recovery. And I think this is a good time too, that if people want to come visit, have them come visit. You have to walk. So maybe they want to go on a short 5-10 minute walk with you, and that's all they really, that's all they can afford to spend. That's all you want to see them for. And it will definitely help with your recovery. Humans are social animals, and we need that. So all the stuff that you had at the hospital, plus more, when you get home, you want to be as comfortable as possible. And this is going to be where the letting go of the outside is going to be incredibly important. And just understanding that no matter what, people want you to get better. Everybody wants you to get better. Everybody wants you to be healthy. Nobody wants to see anyone suffer, especially your family and your friends. Let them help you. If people want to do errands for your wife, or your spouse, if you're a female, don't do anything to discourage that. Let them help. A simple little errand for somebody to run out to the grocery store to get you some cookies isn't that big a deal. Also, try to eat as healthy as you can. When you're back, you need to make sure you get enough protein and calcium and vitamins that will continue to help that bone fuse and increase the recovery process as quickly as possible, right? Because that's the goal. Understand that everybody's recovery is going to be different. I've seen blogs and websites where it's a week and people are back to work. Great, that's awesome. I've seen where it's 6 months. So understand that it's very individualized and that you can't compare yourself to anybody else. And you want to make sure that everybody around you is informed and update them regularly on your progress. I think that's super important, so they know where you are, right? Because they're gonna, and then it's gonna take a while. Like this can 6 months maybe back to regular activity, but it could be 12 months before you're totally fused and you're really feeling good. So make sure that everybody's aware of where you're at in your recovery process, and that at some point you want to start taking control of your life. Just don't do it too soon. And so I'd say that's my biggest advice, is I start thinking about the surgeries I've had and the ones that have been the challenges afterwards. And I know that this is going to be more challenging, and that what I have to look forward to when I come home. I also arranged, it just so happened that my mother-in-law was going to be visiting, who I adore. And then after that, my mom's coming to visit. So my wife will have in-house help at least for a couple weeks. And then make sure your children, if they're of the right age, understand what's happening. They obviously see you in pain, but make sure they understand that post-op, how much help they're going to have to give. And the things that stress you out, like if they fight or argue, which kids are, naturally kids do, that it makes it harder for you to recover. So make sure you have open conversations with your children about this recovery process. So, it takes some of the fear out of what they're going through. One of the biggest questions my sons asked me was, after this is over, you can get back to normal. And I was like, yeah, I hope so. That's the goal, is that I want to be able to play and play with you and coach basketball and do all that kind of stuff that I love. But I also need your help in the recovery process. So engage them throughout that. And I think that'll help out a lot also.